Hi, I'm Ted, and I'm glad you're tuned in to the Black Pearl Voyager channel. This is what's coming up next. And now you hear the pump priming the system, and you should only have to do this one time. Ouch. Oh, hey guys. Didn't see you there. You're probably wondering what I'm doing with this thing. Well, this is an exhaust pipe, and it's for this cheap Chinese heater here. I just got finished wrapping it with some of this fiberglass exhaust tape. So this is what it should look like once you've got it wrapped up pretty good. And it's easy enough to take this here and just kind of twist it, and that tightens everything up again. Gives you a nice tight clean wrap. In case you have kids or pets that might come in contact with it, or even the ground. Of course, I'll always keep it insulated from the ground, or possibly put it on a non-flammable surface like a cookie sheet. Anyway, that's not why I got you here. A little backstory. I was watching Lifestyle Overland. Well, I don't know, I watch them all the time. I think you guys should too. And they were in Tennessee talking about an item that he purchased that was a game changer. And he only hinted at it. He hasn't done a full review on it yet. But it intrigued me because Monica and I are not winter campers. I was in the military for 10 years. I know what it's like to live outside for extended periods of time. Spent 3 years in Germany. A lot of that was out in the field. I've always had trouble staying, well, not trouble staying warm in the winter. I'd just rather stay cool in the summer. I'd much rather be sitting on a beach in Australia than sitting around a campfire with the snow coming down. Anyway, to make a long story short, with our current setup, our M55 series tent and an awning, we really have no place to hole up anywhere and get warm if you're out in a winter type environment. And one of the hardest things is to heat a tent area safely. Now, I've already got a Covea Cupid propane or butane heater. I've also got a Mr. Buddy. The Mr. Buddy's just way too big to put up in the tent with the two of us. The Covea Cupid sits nicely in one corner, but I haven't come up with a way to really attach it. In other words, we have to be very cautious. And of course, you can only run it in the morning and in the evenings before you go to bed. So we don't get out a lot in the wintertime because, face it, if it's stormy and nasty, the only place we have is the tent. And this might be a solution for us. Now, it's not entirely for use in our tent. I'm emergency preparedness kind of guy. Like I said, I've got the Buddy heater that takes propane. We lost power here 2 years ago for a week, and that's really unusual. And we had a little trouble heating the house with the generator, and I didn't have the Buddy heater at that time. Anyway, this would be good for that too. All it requires is 12 volts and some diesel. Now, it's got a built-in diesel tank right here. It holds 5 liters. That's a lot of diesel. It will run about 2 or 3 nights over an 8-hour period or so on what it can hold in here, so it's very, very fuel efficient. Secondly, it puts out a lot of heat, and it's dry heat, and you won't have any fear of sleeping in your tent or your camper or your trailer. Won't have any fear of fire damage or any burn hazards inside the tent. So I thought that was kind of cool, and we will try this out in the tent. It comes with a short piece of hose and a kind of a nice deflector here, but That'll never reach the rooftop tent. We'll have to buy some dryer hose or something that reaches up there. But yeah, this thing puts out dry, clean heat. No condensation, none of the moisture you get from burning propane or butane. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish putting it together here. And I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to do too many mods. Some of the earlier models came with the wrong type of hose from the pump to the combustion chamber. That was upgraded on this already. It does not have a fuel filter. Most of them don't come with a fuel filter, so that's one upgrade you might want to do. And the other thing that I was trying to avoid was adding any weight or height to this. I want to make it as compact as possible. Some of these heaters you actually have to put adapters, copper pipe adapters underneath. I got lucky and this fits just fine. The only thing I had to do was cut about 1 inch off of this end of the pipe here so that it would go up high enough that it would clear the base of the machine here. So I don't have to cut pieces of wood and extend the height or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on and we'll fire it up. See how it works. I don't know if you can see it here or not, but it fits quite nicely on one of these two. One is an intake and the other is an exhaust here. And all this has to do is slip on to that exhaust. I push it up as far as it will go. Get the hose clamp up there. And tighten it up with a screwdriver through the access slot here. Easy peasy. So these come with an assortment of hardware here, and I've seen people take these rings and put them in their spare parts drawer and get the type that have the thumb screw on it, but there's some mounting hardware here, and for some reason I got 2 wiring harnesses. I don't know why. Somebody miscounted, but that's okay. It also came with the mounting hardware necessary to mount these pipes, and I'm following Kevin's example by connecting them both, the intake here with a silencer and the exhaust here with a muffler, right to the case, so that it's one easy pick up and carry or stash and stow, and you don't have a lot of things getting in the way. But you know, if you want to stay warm and you're out in the wilderness, you'll do just about anything within reason, especially if it makes staying out that much more pleasant. So I just, after wrapping this, I'll take this screw, match it up to the case here, and just tighten her down, and Bob's your uncle, good and solid. Everything all in one easy pick up carry thing here. Kind of cool. Around the back here are your 12-volt electrical connector. These are nice big lugs, and the wires come already pre-done with the lug on them, so it's just a matter of screwing them in. It does not come with this, so you're going to want to get some sort of 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter plug. I'm plugging this into my Jackery and turn it on, fill it up with fuel, and here's what the front panel looks like now. Now the air that comes out of here is completely dry. There's no condensation whatsoever. The diesel is burned inside a chamber, and then it's transferred to this heat exchanger here, this thing with the fins, and they blow air over it with a fan. And I'll tell you what, it really puts out some heat. Has a very simple control interface, and it also comes with a remote that you can turn it on and off from 30 feet away. So if you're up in your tent, you can turn the temperature down, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. Very convenient. I'd get one definitely with the remote control. So she's all fueled up. Just a matter of priming it. Each one has its own separate combination. In this one here, you push these two and you see H off. If I push this button here, it'll come on and prime. I've already primed it, so I'm not going to do that again. And I believe you push these two buttons here and you get the off, and you push the next one, this one here, on. And now you hear the pump priming the system, and you should only have to do this one time before you start it. If you don't do this, it might not fire. You'll get an error code, and all you have to do is try and start it again, or go through the primer. But you don't want to over prime it, because then it fills the chamber with lots of wet diesel. And so let's give it a test. Let's see if it puts out some heat. I'm pretty satisfied with it so far. I think this will pack fairly easily. I'll find a place for it. If I'm going to be out in the snow and the sub-zero temperatures that Central Oregon sometimes has, then I'm definitely going to make every effort to bring this along. So let's go fire it up. Okay, well, we fueled it up, and I don't recommend using that type of fuel can. The way that operates, it actually, I had to do it by hand because it put such a divot in my tank lid here that I'm not sure it's going to seal anymore. I minimized that as best I could. Okay, and we have the Jackery, and right now it's drawing 2 watts and it's not running. So that's probably the result of the panel here. And we'll go ahead and fire it up. Turn it on by pressing and holding, and now it is on. And that's all you should have to do from here on out. The fan motor comes on, starts blowing a little bit of air. 11 degrees Celsius is the temperature outside right now. 18 degrees Celsius inside the cabinet here somewhere, or inside the chamber. This light indicates that the fan is running. This light indicates that the glow plug is on. Let's go see what the glow plug is doing. Okay, the glow plug is drawing up to 81 watts. It's going to go much higher than that, but once it gets fired up, the glow plug will cut off and you'll just be running a fan motor. And so the Jackery is plenty adequate to run this heater overnight. We've already peaked 100 watts. Yep, getting some smoke out of the exhaust. So it is fired, and it is already putting out warm air. They run really efficiently. According to this, the glow plug has shut off. But we're still showing 44 watts of power draw. And we'll see what that drops to once it comes up here to temperature in about 10 minutes or so. Okay, the cheap Chinese heater has been running for about 20 minutes on high, and it's putting out a lot of hot air. But as you can see, even with the glow plug off, the fan is still running at high, and the pump is still running as fast as it can, and we're drawing about 39 watts, which is what, 11 or 12 hours of working time with the Jackery. But that's going to be way too much for our little tent, so I'm going to turn the cycles down to about 2.5, about half of what it's doing now. I have to sleep with the Jackery supporting my CPAP, and that additional drain will kill this thing overnight probably. Well, let's see what happens when I turn it down. Right now it's chugging away at maximum cycles, 5.5 hertz, for about 20 minutes now. And I thought I'd pump some of that heat into the house here, but I think I'm probably letting more cold air in than is pumping in warm air. Okay, we'll take the little remote here and we'll turn it down. You can see the numbers changing to probably something more like what I'll put or have supporting my tent. About 2.5. Okay, now you've heard it's gone. Stop clicking way down, and the fan has reduced by quite a bit. We're getting a little bit of black smoke now from out of the combustion chamber, but we'll see how that, if that doesn't clean up. And yeah, see, look at the Jackery now, 13 watts. My goodness, that's quite a run time at this speed. And this is still too hot to touch. Let's go check and see if there's any hot air coming out of the tube. Okay, here's where I've got it coming in through the door here, and it is still putting out a large quantity of warm, dry air, way more than I need to heat the area of my tent. I thought this 8-foot aluminum tubing would work. I don't recommend it. I doubt if I'll ever be able to get it compressed back down to the 2 feet that it comes in. I'm pretty sure I'm experiencing some heat loss in that aluminum tubing, but not enough by the time it gets to this end to really affect the temperature to a point where it would not keep us warm any longer. That's definitely way more heat and way more volume than I would need for my tent. So let's go ahead and do a shut off here. You just have to turn it off and it will switch into its cleaning cycle. One of the things to keep in mind is do not unplug this. It has to go through a shutdown procedure or she'll melt down. So when you hit the off switch, it goes into shutdown. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the glow plug comes on again to burn off anything that might have accumulated in the chamber. But do not shut this thing off by unplugging it from power. You must go through a shutdown procedure or you're liable to melt it down. So guys, that's a wrap. I think this might be a game changer for Monica and I too. A game changer. Hey, well, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, ask questions. There's lots on the internet, on YouTube, about these cheap Chinese heaters and what all modifications some people have actually had to do on it. This is the VVOR, V-E-V-O-R, VVOR model. They come in at less than 170 bucks, and you know what? That's less than I've got in my Covea Cupid heater and my Big Buddy Mr. Buddy heater. So, yeah, cheaper too. And diesel, it's pretty available. It burns clean, and I'm not carrying around 2 different styles of propane, either in a 1-pound canister or butane in the little spray can looking things. So that eliminates some of that. So thanks for watching, and check out my next video. Who knows what it'll be. Bye. Oh, and I really should shout out my daughter and her boyfriend who got me this ring light for Christmas. Yeah, making me look good on video. Thanks, Nancy and Keith.